When you picture your perfect Colorado home in the mountains, is it a simple ski cabin with walk to or ski in ski out access? Is it a mountain, modern, architecturally significant statement bordering a world class ski resort such as Telluride? Or is it a more simple condo, something easier to own with a less is more type of philosophy? If you're new to this channel, I'm real estate broker Jonathan Yassine. Stick around and click around. You'll find lots of Telluride and Mountain Village home tours, as well as homes for sale in Mountain Village and homes for sale in Telluride. But today, join me on Depot Avenue, one of the premier neighborhoods in downtown Telluride. We're going to do a brief walking tour to see the neighborhood, see some of the famous and more significant architecture here, and talk about the zoning. We're also going to take a quick stroll along the river trail, and ultimately it helps buyers figure out if the ultimate Telluride lifestyle is found for them in the town of Mountain Village or the town of Telluride. And just turning around the camera now, you can see the gondola station is literally just right there behind the bus. I'm 30 seconds away from the gondola. And so just imagine you live in one of these homes. That would make you just a 30 to 60 second walk to the Telluride side of the gondola. And you would live with incredible privacy on this one-way street. Actually, I said that wrong. You would live with incredible privacy on this street with no through traffic because, as you can see, it is a one-way street with these barricades that are just simply removed for fire trucks or service vehicles. Otherwise, this is a pedestrian thoroughfare. And furthermore, if you're here in December, perhaps you've seen this for yourself. This street is a landmark in general, but in December, this street is filled with holiday lights. And it's one of the most beautiful places. If you step off the gondola, the light just draws you here and you are immersed in all of that light, framed by all of these legacy homes. In the town of Telluride, on the grid style neighborhoods, the most common lot size is 25 by 100 feet. And oftentimes those lots are condominiumized. And so you'll get 2 and sometimes 3 homes on one lot. They appear to be a single family home, but they are condominiumized most of the time. And they often lack garages, although they do have street parking or one private parking space for, say, a 4-bedroom home. On Depot Avenue, we have larger lots. And that means most of these homes, yes, they do have a garage. They are accessed only from this side of the street or from the alleyway, which we will see when I go over there. Depot Avenue itself is anchored here by the historic Depot building. Over the years, it served as a restaurant, as the AHA School for the Arts, which is a local treasure and art school for the public. And now it is home to the Telluride Science and Innovation Center, which is kind of an intellectual hub for our community with things like the Town Talks Science series and a number of other community events. This space is filled with life and filled with activity that helps Telluride feel so unique and feel like home for so many people, despite being such a remote, kind of rugged town in the mountains. So on the other end of the street are 4 homes by the famous local architect, Tommy Hein, and we'll get to that in a moment. What I really want to show, though, is that this is where legacy homes of downtown Telluride are, because you can achieve homes that are larger than 4,000 or even 4,500 square feet here, whereas most homes in downtown Telluride are much smaller and even half that size. Trades on this street being these legacy homes and things that buyers truly want to pass down through the generations do trade relatively infrequently. But there were 2 significant trades. Last week. Let me just draw attention to this corner. We are still about a 90-second walk to the Telluride Gondola. It is a 4391 square foot, 5-bed, 5-bath home. On the inside, it is as mountain modern as it comes, even if that doesn't necessarily meet the eye outside. And this was designed by another local architect, Dylan Henderson, Salt Architects. I met Dylan about 20 years ago when he was working for Tommy Hein Architects as a project architect and project manager. Really talented guy. Beautiful home inside. Now let's continue on. And by the way, this home did trade at $12,300,000 just last week. So again, as we walk to the other side of the block to look at another recent and significant trade, I'm real estate broker Jonathan Yassine. This is my neighborhood. I have lived just a block away for the last 10 years, so this is my home stretch. I use the gondola, of course, every day, chairlift 8 every day in the winter time. And the town of Telluride feels like home for everyone once they're here because it's such a small, tight-knit community. If you are interested in learning more about the real estate market, by all means, follow along and subscribe to this channel where you can learn via property tours, market information, and the occasional lifestyle piece. If you want to interview with the best realtors in Telluride, contact us anytime, and we are a wealth of knowledge and experience ready to share with you. And just a few moments ago, we were here. These are 4 homes designed by Tommy Hein Architects that anchor the other side of the block of Depot Avenue. This home here is really worth stopping for. This is 413 Depot Avenue. Now, this is a remarkable home. I don't just mean because all of these are the epitome of mountain modern, gorgeous contemporary architecture. I mean, this is a remarkable home because just last December, it traded for $15.1 million, a handsome figure. But last week, it then traded again at $16.4 million as an off-market deal. The home inside is a 5-bed, 5.5-bath, 4,649 square foot living space plus a 2-car garage, 2013 build. Now, I mention this because a lot of people worry that Telluride has reached its maturation and upside may be uncertain if you are investing here. In this case, we clearly see that that is not actually accurate. However, consider that this was an off-market trade, and that just reminds us all that the importance of being connected with knowledgeable and experienced real estate brokers is paramount if you want to benefit from a situation like this. Yes, they are out there. Now, when we're talking about Depot Avenue itself, we're going to get off soon and explore the river trail. But before we do that, I just want to point out there are 2 lots that are undeveloped here in the neighborhood, and they just look like parking spaces, right? This lot here is not for sale. It appears to be a parking area, of course, but this is prime and ready to become the next legacy home of this size and caliber in downtown Telluride, next to the gondola, and just 3 blocks away from Telluride Town Park. And that's why people choose to live in downtown Telluride versus Mountain Village. You literally have walk to ski access with all of the convenience of downtown Telluride. You're 2 blocks away from Main Street. That means shopping. That means boutiques. That means galleries. And here we are. Again, I am standing 30 seconds away from the gondola and chairlift 8. And here on the far corner, private parking only. We could use some help with that sign. This is an undeveloped lot now. Obviously, it's the same size lot as these 4 homes by Tommy Hein Architects. It is absolutely no secret that Telluride is being actively developed with very high-end luxury products, such as the Four Seasons, and talk of a coming Six Senses hotel. The Four Seasons, by the way, is already over 45% pre-sold, and right now it's barely even a foundation in the ground. But here we are. This lot is something that any developer or aspirational private home builder has their eyes on. Is it for sale? Well, everything is for sale, of course, but it's not currently listed. A lot of opportunities do trade off market here. It is not for sale formally. But anyway, this lot is the very corner lot of Depot Avenue. And here we go to the gondola. I'm gonna walk slow. You could just see how much development is happening. Downtown Telluride really lacks hotels. This one is currently being redeveloped now. If you've been with us over the years, you'll remember the Cosmopolitan Hotel was once in this base level. And we're adding this new structure here with a full renovation of the inside of this hotel at the base of the gondola. I walked slow just to point that out, but here we are at the gondola station and Chairlift 8. The gondola itself, speaking of development, is 30 years old, and it will be completely redeveloped in the coming years. And that's a whole other topic we will cover, don't you worry. It's a big topic, though, with lots of twists and turns, much like the development of a brand new medical center to serve the Telluride region. Back to Depot Avenue. If an opportunity like this is appealing to you, make sure to be in touch, because even though you might not see things like this in the MLS, everything is for sale. And in fact, there are many, many off-market opportunities that you never see on the internet in Telluride. And be in touch with an experienced local real estate broker, such as myself, Jonathan Yassine, or my brother Ryan Yassine, the Yassine brothers, to learn more about what's out there and available. Let me just say here, this is Accommodations 1 zoning. And so what does that mean? That means a few things that are important to understand if you're considering buying here, or if you own here already and are not up to date on the code. The purpose, first and foremost, of the Accommodations 1 zoning is to preserve the historical neighborhood character and encourage long-term uses. Telluride is mostly a lived-in town. It does allow for short-term rentals, however, by building duplexes and homes. If we just go up the street, this is Pacific Avenue. Hey, a duplex. A historically appropriate, fun, brilliant colors, Telluride duplex. And all of Pacific Street is mostly like that. Pardon the tundra ruining the shot. But anyhow, we have duplexes all over. Yet on Depot, they have tended to just be larger single-family homes with garages. This whole area is accommodation zoning. That means, just think about it, Telluride itself, if you have been here, lacks hotels. In the master planning decades ago, when Telluride transitioned from a mining economy to a resort and recreation economy, zoned 2 areas of town to be where accommodations are provided. So these were actually developed as larger homes and duplexes that are available for short-term rental rather than hotels. It's just the way it happened. And so if you're concerned about not having the use by right for short-term rentals, Airbnb, VRBO, should you have a Telluride investment, rest assured, this is a conversation that has happened. Yes, a tedious one, but it has happened, and The final ruling is that Telluride needs to have short-term rentals because we lack hotels, and this is the area. Now, it doesn't mean this isn't a private part of town. Again, you're on a street that is not a thoroughfare, so you just get that pedestrian traffic. It preserves the historic character because you have 25-foot high maximum building height. You do have narrow lots with 3-foot setbacks. And again, the homes here tend to be a little bit small. I want to draw our attention here as we're walking by. This is the back half of another duplex. I consider this to be one of the best opportunities in downtown Telluride. Why? We do have a separate property tour linked below of this address. And if you want, you can follow the link below in the description. It is a 45-second walk to the gondola and a 1.5 block walk to Main Street. And likewise, it is just 3 blocks away from the Telluride Town Park. But that home is available in today's market for $6 million. Yes, it's a smaller home, but it provides enormous, handsome rental revenue should someone choose to do that. And it borders this neighborhood, being one of the premier legacy homes neighborhoods in downtown Telluride, all at $6 million versus 16.1 recently, or 13.1 recently. Here we are on the river trail. So if you're walking on the river trail, you are greeted by the Hotel Columbia here. But let's just walk this direction. All the fun Telluride character there. Good morning. And this is the river trail. We can see the gondola is just going to go over and behind the bridge there. This trail connects the Telluride Town Park to the west end of Telluride. Now, fear not, should this be the right neighborhood for you, it is truly a rather quiet part of town. So this is all pedestrian traffic on both sides of these homes. There is very little vehicle traffic because all of that takes place all the way up on Pacific Street and on Main Street. And so, yes, you'll get pedestrian traffic, but it does feel quaint. It does feel private. And one of the reasons people fall in love the most with Telluride, in my experience, is you have that otherworldly, almost old worldly charm and nostalgia here that really helps people connect with themselves, their friends, their family, and with the mountains and with nature. Not to mention all the world-class skiing and other activities that make Telluride. So as we wrap up here, I am walking west. I'm rounding the corner from Depot Avenue. Just around the corner is our very quaint and soon to be replaced medical center. Our medical center, almost hilariously, is in a large double lot home, not a proper modern facility. And it's taken about 40 years to figure out the appropriate place for it to live next. We'll talk about that in a future video. Back to the Telluride Science and Innovation Center. Very cool. We can see the gondola in the background as all of this neighborhood is literally slopeside. And one of the beautiful things about Telluride is you ski right into downtown. And likewise, if you're in Mountain Village, you ski right into the village core or your home directly, or your condominium or hotel directly. Again, Jonathan Yassine here with the Yassine brothers at Telluride Properties. If you have learned something or found this useful, feel free to subscribe to our growing channel. If you are just starting to discover Telluride and you're curious about anything, whether you are a visitor or a potential buyer, feel free to contact us via the information below. We are a wealth of knowledge and experience here in this market. We love helping you make Telluride yours. See you in the next one. Cheers.